Okay, our last video was entirely consumed with a boring side quest that really accomplished very little, so why don't we do something more important? Out in the middle of Immel Vale is this rock here. It's marked on our map as the Moss Stone. And Gan recognizes it. You could say it looks like a rock. It's a big rock, but it's still a rock. This is how a lot of my family members are geologists, and that's how I feel about their work sometimes. And he says that dreaming here might be interesting. Okay, well, let's rest. And here we are, and this is actually a recognizable dreamscape, because we were here when we were dealing with Sir Ganayev. And Gan shows up in this dream as well. Unfortunately, all our buffs are gone, and there are some things that we're going to have to deal with here, so I'm going to make sure that I have all that in place. Gan, of course, is going to stay at 1 hit point with no buffs and, you know, crippled stats, because that's what Gan does. Just about to hit another level, too. There are 4 named people here surrounding a red woman. Well, let's see what this red woman has to say. Hopefully she's not a communist. Before walking up, I cast a couple of my shorter duration buffs, including a Spell Mantle and Foundation of Stone. And they say that these 4 are talking to us, and Gan says, "Caution, these 4 mean us harm." Oh, well, imagine that. People meaning us harm? It's not like we've, have never fought anyone before. And they ask, how did I find it? Well, I closed my eyes and went to sleep. I mean, how else do you get into dreams? And they ask the question of, exactly whose dream is this? Are we dreaming of her, or is she dreaming of us? Or are we are people dreaming that we're being played in some video game? There's no resolution to that question. And apparently this is not the first time these guys have run into a Spirit Eater before. And you offer to let them help them escape this dream. And they ask if we can protect Our Lady from hunger. And they mentioned that the red woman is our anchor stone. All the others are lost and gone, except perhaps the boy and the wall. Now, we've met at Wells of LaRue, and we went to the wall at the City of the Hags. So, another piece of that mask. And they go hostile. Imagine that. The reason I cast the Spell Mantle is the first thing that Jiraj over here casts is Bigby's Forceful Hand. If you're not familiar with Bigby's Forceful Hand, it's probably one of the most broken spells in the game. It attempts what's called a Bull Rush, which is a contested strength check, and it has a plus 14 strength bonus. I have a minus 1, so there's no chance that I would ever make it. But even if you have a character who has colossal strength, chances are you're only going to have, if you look at my charisma, which is my highest stat, it's only plus 10. And so they would have a 50-50 chance of being knocked down and incapacitated for, one round per level of the caster. It really just utterly destroys someone's capability to continue in the fight. And obviously, since this is a quasi-solo game, I would be in major trouble if that hit me. But I'm gonna walk up in the midst of them and Vampiric Feast. See if I get any of them. Ooh, yeah, I did. 2 of them. Looks like. No, maybe only 1. Jiraj here is my biggest concern. But he just cast another mantle, so I'm going to have to use a spell that'll absorb some mantle. And he cast another spell, so quick and cast that. He's got 10 levels of mantle left, unfortunately, so I'm going to have to just keep casting high-level spells. These other folks are getting sunbursted, and so they, I think, are going to be pretty harmless. Sunburst is, among other things, just useful for me because it's the highest level attack spell I have. I'm actually just going to try Dispelling and see what happens. Didn't look like it worked. Alright. And he's still got... Okay, that was his last spell levels for absorption, so I need to kill him now. And I'll use a max my flame arrow. He's a wizard, so he shouldn't have very good reflex saves. That worked. So we're left with Zarak, who I think is a monk or something, or a fighter, and Kozak here, who's also more of a fighter. The fighter types have the high fortitude save, and they'll survive Vampiric Feast, but they tend to have low reflex saves, and will get hit by Sunburst. Oh, he actually threw a flame arrow back at me. Anyway, I'm going to clean up. Since they're both blinded, this fight is basically over. I hate it when they have just, slivered hit points left. And we'll just use whatever. I guess he's a druid. Oh, no, he's a spirit shaman. You can tell because he instantly re-healed when he was about to hit dead. Not that it really helped him. So the red woman says she's been waiting for me, and we, comment that she kind of looks like Sophia. And she calls herself a memory of love, and she hands over this third mask fragment. And she mentions that she'll be back when we need her. That's everything there is to do in Imel Vale, so we're going to head back to Ashenwood. Okay, back at the Lake of Tears garrison. It's snowing. Just, as a point of reference, Odessa is going to have a problem in a second, so if you want to do any shopping, got to do it now. I'm going to just clean out my inventory and, get rid of some of this junk. Delenka and Nadaj don't have anything new to say, so I'm just going to head into the forest. There aren't any repubs or anything, so I'm just heading straight over to Gnarlthorn. And he says to place it in the gift. Place it in the pond, sorry. And he's more or less saying, well, I'm going to die anyways, so you might as well save anything else. And you could say that you don't understand why people are suffering just for the sake of natural order, and Kaelin pipes up that, yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Because the whole natural order of the wall is something that she has some issues with, apparently. And Gnarlthorn dies, but Oku is, happy about, how you've handled things. So we gain influence with Oku, we gain influence with Kaelin. before we get started next time, we're probably going to have some conversations. But I think that's it for this video.